Okay. Hopefully, I've done a good job of convincing you that Zoho One is a good deal. Um, and hopefully now by this point, you are convinced that I love Zoho One more than my own family. That's not true. I have a great family. Zoho One I like it less than my family, if only slightly. Now, I feel like it is going to be helpful for you and for me to talk about who I think Zoho One does make sense for and who it makes a little less sense for. I want to be brutally honest. I have no intention of sugarcoating things and making you think that the entirety of Zoho One is perfect. It really depends on your business. It depends on your needs. Um, the next videos will kind of go into some specific use cases where it may or may not make sense. Please feel free to download our Zoho One guide. I'll put a link above. We do rank the apps one by one, and it goes into a little bit more depth. So if you really are curious, I think that'd be really, really helpful for you to review that and get a little bit more context. We're also happy to answer questions about this as well. So yeah, watch out. All right, Zoho gets bugged at us when we criticize them. I love you, Zoho. Love you so much. You're awesome, but you're just not perfect for everyone. This one is a big pet peeve of mine. My background is e-commerce. Used to work in women's fashion. Zoho is not fantastic at B2C, business to consumer e-commerce. There's a few things I'm going to pick nits with here. And again, you may you may have a business that still works here. There are a few caveats to what I'll say. I'll spell them out more in the lesson. But Zoho, as a rule, does not really have amazing integrations with existing e-commerce platforms like Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, the ones that have most of the market share. They are getting better, absolutely getting better. This could be a strength for them within the next few years, but in the 3 years that I've been developing on the platform, it has just generally been a weakness. They have rolled out Zoho Commerce, which strangely is not part of the Zoho One suite. Zoho Commerce is fine. If you have really, really simple e-commerce needs, it works totally fine. But if you are a serious business that's doing like a decent amount of business online, and you have goals for growth, Zoho Commerce as a platform just really, really falls flat in terms of, or in a lot of respects. Again, I will pick those nits within the text of the lesson if you happen to be curious. So that leaves you might say, okay, fine, I won't use Zoho Commerce, I'll use Shopify and just integrate it with the rest of the suite, or BigCommerce, or WooCommerce, or any of these different e-commerce platforms. That is easier said than done. There's two big issues that I've seen. I will give one big caveat. If you have a very low SKU count, meaning you don't sell a huge variety of products, you sell, let's just say under 150 to 100 SKUs, then we have actually gotten creative and made some really, really beautiful Zoho systems that handle e-commerce. So there are options, but for companies, again, I came from women's boutique fashion. For companies with over 100 SKUs, you lose a lot of data and integration capability if you use Zoho. As an example, I'm a big proponent. I don't make any money for pumping up or talking about Klaviyo. I really, really like Klaviyo. I set it up at a previous company, again, boutique fashion. Klaviyo is so fantastic at order data integration. Just at the drop of a hat for almost any e-commerce platform, it can sync all of your data and make it actionable. What do I mean by actionable? I mean that this guy ordered red dress medium. We can actually create instantly a segment for him of people who ordered red dresses, people who ordered medium dresses, people who ordered dresses costing over $50, people who spent over $50 in general. Klaviyo is just so powerful at being able to kind of weaponize that integration data, where Zoho just doesn't really have options like that at all. They don't have nearly as tight of a data integration on the marketing side, and you end up losing a lot of that data, or it just sits there not really helping you in your marketing effort. There's nothing cooler than being able to send an email full of red dresses to people who have proven that they love red dresses and seeing it convert better than your average email because of that personalization. So again, this is some place that I could see Zoho doing better at, but as of right now, they're not doing great. On the operations side of business to consumer e-commerce, I'm not a big proponent of Zoho inventory as a option for shipping these orders for order fulfillment. And here's why. Zoho inventory is built a lot more for kind of bigger ticket items. You maybe have three $10,000 items that you're shipping out of a big warehouse, and you do one shipment like that every week, and you do a total of 50 shipments. It can handle something like that. In terms of mass orders, you walk in Monday morning at 7 a.m., you had a sale over the weekend, and you have 12,000 orders to ship. Zoho doesn't have nearly as robust batch ordering and batch shipping as something like ShipStation. I'll link to this article below. This is what I used when I ran operations for that e-commerce company. Zoho just can't compete here at all. It's not something that Zoho inventory was really designed to do. So again, for business to consumer e-commerce, where you have lots and lots of orders frequently going out, Zoho just isn't really built for you. I'd love to see them compete. I like to be upfront about that and not try to sugarcoat for companies where Zoho's core tools might not make that much sense. With that said, I have seen some e-commerce companies do some really cool things with Zoho. Again, those with low SKU counts, as well as those with, if you just decide to use pieces of Zoho, right? Don't have to use all of Zoho One. I've seen some really solid Zoho Sales IQ for live chat implementations for e-commerce companies. Zoho Desk is fantastic. So you can absolutely use and love pieces of the Zoho suite. It's just that the value in doing Zoho One and having your whole company be run on Zoho may not be there. Second spot that I often see problems with in the Zoho One suite. And again, you don't have to get scared away from all Zoho apps. It just maybe isn't the best spot for you to run your whole business on Zoho. Is companies with massive, massive email lists. We're talking 50,000 plus. You have kind of marketing automation goals and processes that are really, really robust. Honestly, this again often happens with business to consumer e-commerce, where you're trying to manage and get more and more people to order without necessarily having a sales team following up with each and every person. Zoho has the capability, but is not as robust as maybe some other options you can look at. For instance, Zoho Marketing Hub exists. It's kind of Zoho's foray into marketing automation. There's also Zoho Campaigns, and both have email automation capabilities and workflow capabilities. We've just, in our experience, seen the automation is just a little bit harder to set up and not as intuitive. B, your actual email design options are a little bit more limited. C, email deliverability on the whole is not as strong as another product like a HubSpot or an Active Campaign. And D, again, I get back to this idea of integration. Zoho doesn't have nearly as many integration pieces with other tools to pull data into their marketing automation platforms. So it's totally doable, but it is something that I approach with caution. If you have a large email list for whom marketing automation is really, really important, then we should talk, because Zoho isn't always the most elegant marketing automation tool to build your business on. I want to be clear, Zoho CRM is fantastic at managing sales relationships with large email lists. If you have 50,000 leads and a sales team that's working with that, that's absolutely easy. It's specifically managing kind of the automated relationship to be able to, hey, this person click on link number 2 in an email. I need to follow up with them with this piece of content and choose different pieces of content based off of which link they clicked and make sure it gets delivered. Send the text at this point. Being able to kind of build a system like that and holistically integrate all of your data across your entire suite to really build that journey. I just haven't seen Zoho compete as well with other tools. So don't be scared away from the rest of the Zoho suite, and you can absolutely integrate HubSpot with other tools in Zoho, but Zoho One and building your entire business on it may not be my first choice in terms of vertical Zoho One fit. Just a quick point to note. I won't go super in depth on this one, but Zoho inventory, while I absolutely love it for certain customers, if you have a complex manufacturing process where you're managing tons of moving pieces and frequently assembling and disassembling items, Zoho just really isn't a good fit for you. Zoho inventory is a really good fit for finished products for similar types of companies. Really good at mobile Salesforce and being able to manage logistics and manage billing with Zoho Books. Like all in all, a really solid ERP option. But if you specifically are looking for something to manage your manufacturing floor and be able to kind of go through a complex process of assembly, Zoho really isn't a good fit for you. You should absolutely get your sales team to look at CRM because you can probably integrate your existing ERP with Zoho CRM and ratchet up your sales that way. But in terms of using the entire Zoho suite, you can be cautious. Okay, this is going to come across as mean on my part. Don't want it to be mean. You're a great person. I'm sure that you're really good at business and that you make money hand over fist and you're a very smart person. But you need to be honest with yourself. If software is not your strong suit, if you don't like or are not interested in the idea of implementing these different softwares, if you are just going to kind of sit around and let someone else implement it for you, then I worry a little bit for your Zoho One rollout. This is not something that is taken lightly. It requires a certain level of operational rigor and focus, and people who are committed and smart to be able to migrate all of your organization's processes over to these new pieces of software. So you should be level with yourself. If you feel like your company or organization has the capabilities to take on all of these different apps, right, across so many different uh, business processes that you're running, then take it on. But be real. If you're going to just try and hire some freelancer on Upwork to manage the whole thing for you, there's a good chance that you end up with kind of a half-assed implementation that doesn't get you the whole value that Zoho can offer. And that's true for any software. That's not just true for Zoho. So those are the only other people that I kind of steer away from Zoho, are those that don't have the resources, the bandwidth, or the know-how to really bite off a big project like this. Okay, I'll be short with the following. Hopefully, the rest of the course will have illustrated the companies that Zoho One will work really well for. That is pretty much everyone we haven't named above. If you have the focus and the rigor for business processes to want to bite off implementation like this, to be able to really improve and automate the way your organization works, Zoho One is fantastic. You really can't get a better deal anywhere else. We'll talk specifically about a few businesses where it might make the most sense and where you should have done it yesterday. But I really think that For most of you that I haven't named above, you should keep listening. And even if you are in one of the verticals I named above, we should at least talk. Maybe it makes sense for some of the other apps. Okay, the first type of company that's going to love Zoho One, anyone that can successfully implement Zoho CRM will just snowball bit by bit into adding other Zoho apps and centralizing all of it in Zoho One. What do I mean by that? Well, this is Zoho CRM, and I'll click on settings, click on market under marketplace. You should see Zoho. Oh, think of the possibilities. If you are running CRM really well and your sales team loves it, your executive team loves it, you're able to really get a picture of who your customers are and what's going on with it. Imagine the following: all of your financial transactions being centralized with your customer and sales data. So being able to see kind of two sides of the coin at the same time. Surveys, customer surveys that they filled out, customer support tickets, any documents that you filled out for each customer, attachments using Zoho Work Drive to attach different files to their customer records. People that have attended your webinars, being able to schedule meetings in Zoho Meeting directly from CRM, associating Zoho projects with CRM deals that you've completed, Zoho sign contracts, completing contracts from the CRM, chatting with people in Zoho Click directly from Zoho CRM. There's a million different ways to integrate the CRM with other pieces of the Zoho One suite. So if Zoho CRM makes sense for you, there's a really good chance that the rest of the Zoho suite will make sense, and you'll slowly be able to add on more and more apps to help your business accomplish more of what you'd like to do. Speaking as a small business slash startup owner, Zoho One is a godsend. Here's why. If I were a big company with 500 people and already tons of established processes and software that we were already using, Zoho One would be awesome, but also kind of a headache, right? Oh my gosh, we need to migrate all of our existing systems over to this new system. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of man hours, lots of migrations, and it can just get hectic. Starting a new business like I have, using Zoho One from day one, or let's say from day 300 or day 900, kind of at the beginning before a lot of your processes have crystallized, means that it's so stinking like such a good value, and you have so much more access to tools that normally you'd pay through the nose for. CRM is a no-brainer, right? And email, to be able to have from day one a company domain and really nice access to email. But I mean, let's talk about it. I have Zoho Vault for keeping all the passwords for my entire company. I have access to Zoho Books, don't have to pay for QuickBooks. Zoho Bookings for making appointments. Zoho Work Drive gives me 5 TB of cloud storage. I've been running contracts through Zoho Sign from the very beginning. I have live chat on my website. I have customer support going through Zoho Desk. My entire company runs through Zoho projects. When I hire people, I find them through Recruit and then add them to Zoho People. We started with Zoho Sites. We moved off of it once we got a little bigger, but really, it's a crazy amount of value that otherwise we just wouldn't have paid for, right? We wouldn't have been able to use Recruit and would have been a lot more disorganized in adding new people. We'd have to pay for a separate project management tool that wouldn't integrate as well. So there's just so much value in getting set up with an integrated system like this from day one. And all of our startup and small business customers we've set up with Zoho One, they would vouch for that as well. Get started with it today and you'll reap the benefits for the next 10, 15, 20 years.